I'll tell you who would be fun to prep. That Glimmer girl, that tall one. Oh, she's gorgeous. Those eyes.
I know, and those white teeth.
I have to admit it. I had the teeniest thrill when they pulled your sister's name at the Reaping. I mean, her precious little face. I just couldn't stop thinking of all the ways we could dress her up and make her up, like little Rose Everdeen.
I know, me too. Not that we were disappointed when it turned out to be you. No, now that we've gotten rid of all that hair and filth, you're not horrible to look at.
Okay. Welcome to the next episode of the script reading. We are the Adaptation Games. I'm Ash.
And I'm Kels. And again, we are doing another special episode this week where we're not going to be taking a look at the films, but we will be taking a look again at the script. So all the way up until essentially the beginning of the games, almost.
Yes, and I believe this will be our final special episode before we start back into the games in Act 2, correct?
Probably. Let's see how long we talk about Gale. I feel like I could talk about this one moment for like 6 hours because it's crazy.
I have never said that in my life, but yes, I guess we shall talk about Gale.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to. But we probably won't end up talking about it for 6 hours, so this will probably be the final episode. It's so
I hope
wild.
not, but it is a delight. I'm so excited to get to it. It is at the very end, so you'll have to stick around. But
yeah,
don't you worry, Gale's fun in the script.
Yeah, we'll just jump right into it instead of doing a big intro too, because the scene we just read from Katniss's prep team. Thank you for voicing Octavia. It was great impression of what they would have sounded like if they spoke in the movie. I feel like.
I felt like I lost the Valley Girl on part 2, but it was fun.
I feel like I started a little British and then I was like, wrong, incorrect. But you never know.
You'd think like dungeon mastering pretty frequently would make us at least a little bit good at voices. Wrong, incorrect.
I don't think I've ever done a good voice in any of our campaigns I've DM'd, so I don't know that that's helping us at all.
Me neither.
I don't know. I've liked some of the voices you brought out. But anyways.
Thank you. I did not compliment yours, so now I feel bad.
I don't think I've ever done one, so it's okay.
That's fair.
But yeah, we just read the moment that we talked about a couple of episodes ago about when the prep team, really, this isn't even in the book, right? But I think this is a great moment that really emphasizes how different does the capital see the games versus the district citizens, right? Because it is a lot of, oh, we're here to help. Wouldn't it have been fun to like dress them up and like make them pretty and like help them get sponsors and like yada yada, right? Like they don't really see it as doing harm at all.
100%. I actually really like this dialogue. I think it's insane in the most perfect way. I do kind of wish we got in the movie. I don't know if the tone would necessarily match, especially not because Katniss then starts telling them all about Prim, and it's like, oh no, that's that. Where's Katniss? She left again. She's been replaced again. But I do love this like sort of glib dialogue that actually is like terrifying.
Yeah, like I think it would have been perfect in the movie as almost like background noise happening while Katniss is like freaking out.
100%. Yeah.
And it's also interesting because here in this version, the game makers are watching them at the prep center, or whatever they call it, the remake center. Because when she goes to meet Cinna and she's still naked, they are there in like their little booth above them watching her while she's still naked.
Yeah, I feel like that is not a PG-13 movie.
No, they would have definitely had to have her in a robe or something. But still, even then, it's like they're watching her being like made over.
That's
and
crazy,
stuff, Yeah,
the capital's fascinating in this script. They are just like every choice is baffling, kind of in an interesting way. I really like it.
Yeah, more like invasive, almost.
Very
like
invasive.
In a more direct way.
Yeah, instead of just this like obtuse force.
Yeah. And then the other big thing that's going to be different from the movie, but not different from the book, is Cinna. Right, we're going to go back to Cinna of the book, where he's pretty much word for word, he's like saying things that Cinna in the book says, which means that we don't get the warm introduction. We don't get him being like, I'm so sorry this happened to you. I'm here to help you. Like, I'm not just here to make you look pretty. I'm here to help you make an impression. Like, none of that is in the script, right? And I think part of that probably comes after they get Lenny Kravitz. They're like, okay, we have to pivot, right? It has to be a little bit more fatherly just because of the way he plays him.
100%.
Versus getting a younger actor at the time. Because I think, what did I say? He was like 47 or something when they were shooting this, which isn't like, it's not like an old man or anything like that. It's just that he is a bit more mature than the 30-year-old. They literally say in here that he's 30.
Oh, yeah,
he's supposed to be 30. Yeah.
Oh, God.
So
older than Cinna? That's, oh.
I know. Isn't that a weird thought to have? I'm like, I could
so
never.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
But like
But yeah, and
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to just say that Katniss kind of trusts him immediately and admits that she's scared, which is fascinating.
Yeah. Well, like his literal opening line to her is, how despicable we must seem to you. And it's like the thing about it being in movie form is you don't really need anybody to say that out loud, right? Once you actually are doing the shooting of the film, because you can just see it on J-Law's face every chance she gets. Like, you don't really need Cinna to come in and say that.
I think Cinna saying it shows that he's different than the Capitol, because we just had them being like, oh, your sister would have been so fun to dress up before she died. Right. So I think that would have been the purpose of it. But
yeah, because in the book, it's a word for word line from him. But that is like after he like conjures up food, and she had that whole thought process where she's trying to be like, oh, what would I have to do to make something even close to what this meal is? Like a week's worth of hunting and gathering, and it wouldn't even come close, right?
Yeah.
And he's like watching her watch the food, and he's like, how despicable you must seem to you. You know, it's not like a propos of nothing, essentially.
Yes.
And also in front of the game makers. Pretty ballsy, considering they're literally there watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have audio?
Yeah. But also, you're right, it feeds into his rebellious nature a little bit more, but I prefer the Lenny Kravitz version.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of very similar to the book, we're actually going to jump ahead because there's a lot to talk about in this section of the script, so we're going to skip a lot of it, but jump to the parade. It is very similar to the book, but also not.
Yeah. There's a couple of key differences, especially from the film, the final movie, which is that, one, Caesar Flickerman is going to play the same role as in the book, meaning he's not here. So he's not announcing the parade with Claudius Templesmith. Instead, I'll read the description. A broadcast booth, like you'd see at the Rose Parade. Claudius Templesmith is doing play-by-play live. He has a special guest tonight, Seneca, doing color. So if anybody doesn't know, that's how all casting duos work pretty much. You have a play-by-play person and a color commentator. It's kind of how we work. I do play-by-play. Ash does color commentary, which works really well for us. But, right, it's not Claudius and Caesar. It's Claudius and Seneca. And it's a very interesting conversation in that Claudius, essentially, they start joking about, like, what are you looking for in a tribute, right? They're talking about the tributes as they come out. And he says something about, like, oh, and then when the game makers interfere. And Seneca's like, you know, I would never interfere. Wink, wink. You know, like, so odd to put that on TV, I feel like, for the Capitol that we get in the final movie anyways.
Yeah, are we admitting that propaganda is fake out loud? Because that seems counterproductive.
Yeah. And then, because the other big thing is that President Snow is not there for this whole scene. He doesn't do a welcoming speech. We don't know who he is, other than the fact that Gale mentioned President Snow at like the very beginning when we were with him. He's like, I would kill him. I would kill President Snow. But it's like, okay, he's like the omnipresent force, but we still haven't seen him, because Seneca essentially is going to fill that role in a much more cruel way than President Snow does in the final movies.
Yeah, we're getting a very stereotypical movie villain, as Seneca is very actively targeting Katniss and like telling Katniss that he's targeting Katniss.
Yeah. He's like mean to his assistant, who's like an artist.
Yeah.
Who was like drawing on their little like tablet or whatever.
Like Seneca is so cruel in this that he's sort of overblown. He's like, oh yes, I love killing kids. That's why I'm the game maker. Not you know.
And it's interesting because like Snow isn't like that, right? Even at the very end of Mockingjay, he's like, I don't kill needlessly. I don't kill wastefully. Why would I kill all those capital children and your sister? Like, that's the moment that Katniss is like, oh, but he's right. He would never do that. Because, like, it's not about the violence for him. It's about survival, which is, like, very different in her eyes. Whereas for Seneca here, it's very much about the violence.
Oh, yeah, he's having a great time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we'll, like, get to it at the training, which there's still something we want to talk about for the parade, but, like, where he basically comes up and is tormenting Katniss.
Yeah, he like
he's
chats
like,
with
oh yeah,
her.
you just met him, like the person that could ruin your whole life. And you're like, okay,
I am the judge.
Yeah,
the
jury and the executioner. All
okay,
right,
buddy.
Yeah. But the other really interesting part about the parade is the paperwork scene.
Yes, and they have a district. Let's see, where is it?
Like how
Callaway?
they're separated?
Who's? Oh, for some
Callaway
reason I thought
the,
it was
additional tribute that they give. I think he's from District 4 because he uses a trident.
Oh, okay. I thought for some reason the paperwork is being handed out by a district person.
No. They're just like listing out all the districts, I think. Yeah, so they give us a lot of new characters in this script. We haven't really touched on them too much, but like the Blanken kid was the original tribute who dies a year prior in the 73rd games. We meet the mom of that kid, and then also we get Beto, who is Seneca Crane's assistant person that he was bullying. And then now we're also getting Callaway, who is a district kid. I think he's District 4 because he uses a trident later on, which is interesting because the District 4 kid we get in the final movie is the 12-year-old, the other 12-year-old.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because he has a whole spiel here where he says, Mentors, I have the pre-games packages. Please distribute them to your tributes. All forms must be completed before entering the training center. Burial preferences, organs to be donated, etc. There are also 6 personalized condolence cards in each package. If anyone needs more, please see me. And I'm like, wait, who is this?
Okay, no, never mind. There is another district kid that we're going to get, though. A District 4 kid who gets named. But Callaway is just a random person that they name.
Oh, amazing. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fascinating. One, okay, so they finish the parade. All the people are still, Katniss is still on fire, I think.
Right.
This random administrator comes out and says, here, you need to sign this form with burial preferences, organs to be donated, etc. Why are these preferences? Like the Capitol doesn't give you any preferences. You show up, the Capitol uses you as bait for their propaganda. You die. They ship, I don't know, whatever they want back to your family and say, sucks.
Yeah, I know that in Sunrise on the Reaping. Wow, not Sunrise on the Reaping. Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I was like, which one? They like ship them back just in their wooden crates, like essentially wooden caskets, with like no preference whatsoever. But obviously that's also the 10th games and not the 74th games. And then by Sunrise, I think he has to ride back with why am I blanking on her name? What's her name? Not Madge. Madge's aunt that he's with in the games.
Madge's
the twin
aunt. Oh, not Madge's aunt.
Yeah,
Madge's
aunt.
His mentor.
Oh, not Madge. Mags. No, Mags is his mentor. Madge is the mayor's daughter.
Oh.
And so that's her aunt.
Too many M names.
I know.
Oh, God.
Maisley. Maisily, I think he
Maisily
has to ride
Donner.
back with her body and the bodies of the other two district people. Um, like not in the same cart or whatever,
But in the same
as
train.
them on the same train. So yeah, it's like, no, I don't think they would give you the preference. You wouldn't be donating your body parts; they would just be taking your body parts. But I do think it's a really interesting thing to do. It's like really reminiscent of what we get in Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which is like when they all sit down in the same room and they're like interviewing them and like writing stuff down about them. Like the very first time they ever like start talking to the tributes and have mentors and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so like I bet you that Suzanne liked this moment and kind of took that and applied it elsewhere.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
It's a little baffling. The paperwork takes up a whole page.
Yeah. Um and also this is where they mention Johanna Mason because
Oh, yeah.
Katniss is looking at Rue feeling bad just in general that Rue is there. And Effie goes, "Don't let her distract you. It might just be a stunt." Joanna Mason a few years ago, she wept through the whole training week, never saw such a scared little puppy. Then day one of the game, she hatcheted 6 kids in 2 minutes and won. Signed, dear, it's late. Which is also not how it happened in the book, but I think interesting little nugget to throw in there.
I love the idea that Effie would say hatcheted 6 kids.
Yeah. Like I feel like every other version would just be like, that's inappropriate. Don't talk about it, you know?
It just does not feel like words she knows how to say.
Yeah, but yeah, I just think it was a really interesting insert. I think it could have been really interesting if it was in the final film, depending on how they did it. Like the idea that they have 6 personalized condolence cards in each package, right? Personalized. Like, what does that mean? Who are they sending it to? You know, I think it's
Yeah.
interesting because, like, you know, the other thing the Capitol makes them do is that then next year, not even next year, in 6 months' time when they do the victory tour or whatever, they're gonna make you stand out there and listen to the people who potentially killed your kid. You know, not even apologize to you. Say like it was a worthy sacrifice.
So like we earned this and your suffering is okay.
Yeah.
And actually it's fine.
Yeah. And then the thing
Bummer.
to wrap up this paperwork scene is we get to see Gale again on the train.
Don't worry, Gale is still riding the coal train to the Capitol.
Yeah.
And now he's
he sees
involved
the
in the
wild
actual
dogs here.
games.
Yeah. Yeah.
The dogs have been caught. They are now being loaded into transport cages by hunters, and he is on a train that goes by it.
Yep.
Fascinating.
And then we go pretty much straight to the training center. They like don't go to the apartment or anything like that. First, they are in the training center where again Effie is essentially going to take over the role of Haymitch, right? Where she is going to essentially be like, this is the training center. This is where you're going to be. You'll eat breakfast. Yada, yada. Like, here's everything you're going to do. What are your skills? Like, this is where the skills conversation that we will have later on in the film and that they have later on in the book, like, they're going to have it right now with everybody there.
In the lobby of the training room.
Yeah. Which is just interesting the way that. And then Effie is like, oh, also, no, don't see Peeta as your enemy. See him as your ally. Which Effie doesn't understand anything about that, I feel like. You know,
she
not
knows
like
it's a
playing
good
the
story.
politics game of this. Yeah.
No. Effie's doing her best, and this is too much.
Yeah. Like, she basically was like, the crowd loved you two as a couple up there, and where the crowds go, sponsors follow. And it's like, yes, she does understand things about sponsors, but it's like very interesting that she's like, so couple up.
Yeah.
Like,
and don't touch a bow.
Sounds like Haymitch. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a fascinating version of Effie. This is a very competent version of Effie, which I don't think we get anywhere else.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also, like, she turns to Haymitch to, like, ask him what he thinks, and she's basically like, oh, he's too drunk. And she just turns away and she, like, continues. So, Yeah, very interesting. And then when they go back to the apartment, then Haymitch starts to go a little bit more into like what sponsors are and stuff like that, and how he's like, you should really listen to Effie. She knows what she's talking about. Like, I don't think Haymitch would ever compliment her like that in front of the kids.
Never.
Never. But he basically is like, be nice, Katniss. Otherwise, people aren't gonna like you, and you're gonna die. And that leads to her going up to her room and like smashing a plate, I'm pretty sure, right? Because the Avox girl comes in to clean it up. So we do get that back, which is kind of nice.
Yes, it is interesting. We also get a conversation where Kenna says, "What is an Avox?" And then Haymitch explains, which is definitely done for the audience because I'm pretty sure that everyone knows loosely about Avoxes, never met, but they're like, "Oh, this is like a threat that the Capitol will do."
Well, in the movie, yeah, but in the books, they do have to explain it because they're like shooketh that she thinks she recognizes the girl, and they're like, you can't. There's no way you could possibly recognize her, and she's like, why? Like, I just asked her where I knew her from, and they're like, well, she can't answer because her tongue has been cut out because she's a traitor to the Capitol. There's no way you know her, and that's when Peeta has to cover for her.
I thought Avoxes were like ghost stories in the districts, but that does make sense.
I think that's kind of the implication in the film, which I think makes sense. Like, there's no way that they wouldn't. No, I always thought that was interesting in the book that they have literally zero idea about Avoxes. You would think that, yeah, that would be a ghost story that they tell kids, like the Capitol's going to come and cut your tongue out, you know, if you swear from them or like whatever, you know?
Go do your laundry.
Yeah. Like, because also like the peacekeepers live there. It's not like they're never talking about Capitol stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, yeah. But we do get that scene where Katniss kind of loses her cool a bit and was like smashing the plates and kind of acting her age.
And to start it off, Katniss reveals that in the paperwork that she signed, she just agreed to donate her eyes.
Yes, that's
why
correct.
she did that. I don't know. Never explained. We move on. Avox time.
Yeah, Katniss would have been like, "I hope they poison you and you die." That's the only reason I would donate them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a lead up to the mutts with the tribute's eyes, but no hint to that now.
No.
But yeah, it is fun to get the Avox scene. It is long. It's what, one page? So that's a whole minute, which doesn't sound like much, but that also requires that we show that the girl earlier. So it would require either flashback or as they did in this, where we started with it. So it's actually a significant amount of screen time to introduce the Avoxes.
Yeah. And then to like go back and explain like what happened to the girl and like yada yada. Yeah. So it's the reason that they cut it out of the final film, essentially. Although we'll see why they kept it here in the script in a minute when we get there. But before we get there, before they even go into the evaluations, Katniss and Peeta are up on the roof together, and Peeta shows her about the force field because he's like, please don't jump. You can't anyways. And then they have their conversation where Peeta's like, well, I just don't want them to change me. Right, which we haven't even gotten to in the regular podcast because it hasn't happened yet. It doesn't happen until after the crush reveal and the interviews and stuff. But they put it here before they even go into the evaluations. And I think we were trying to measure it out. It's not like her and Peeta have had a lot of scenes together at this point. Yeah.
No, they met in the Hob. Crazy. And then they like met during Reaping. And they've had a few conversations, but this is like their first like just them conversation in a while.
Right. And like everything has been kind of forced, right? We talked about this in the book too, where like everybody around them is forcing them to have a relationship. They're not really organically doing that, but at the same time they have these small moments that Katniss is noticing that she can like quantify, right? Of like, oh, he gave me the bread when I was starving, and he covered for me with the Avox girl, and he, you know, like did all of this just stuff, which he hasn't really done so far in the script, right? Like he bartered to give her 2 pieces of bread, like an equal trade, essentially. But we haven't gotten the flashback scene, you know, to like he fed her when she was starving. So
yeah,
this feels really out of place to me.
Very out of place, very strange. they haven't changed with the capital yet. Like, they haven't felt like they're losing themselves yet. They just got here. It's
Right.
day 2.
Yeah.
But I do like that Katniss, in proper Katniss form, puts her whole foot in her mouth to end the conversation. Where she just says, like, if that's all it takes, Peeta, I'm pretty sure you'll be the one who's still standing at the end, when she's talking about, like, praying to, or like playing to the Capitol's wanton, like how their charms.
Right.
And it's just like that wounded him. Like,
Yeah.
Katniss.
Oh yeah. There's our Katniss though. There she is.
There she is. She's been missing for a significant part of the script, but she's back.
Yeah. Because it all ties into when Gale gets there, but the idea that she doesn't easily trust doesn't really come through here, right? Like, as much, because she's not being like, if we think that Katniss in the movie wasn't that sullen and hostile compared to book Katniss, then script Katniss is a flirt and like the most not external, what's the word when you are good with other people?
Oh.
Like, outgoing, extroverted. She's like the most extroverted person on the planet in comparison to like movie version Katniss, it seems. Because she like talks to people and she like interacts and like was like biting Gale's finger, like instead of getting annoyed that he interrupted her kill. So it seems like Katniss will make friends easily, Yeah,
she trusted Cinna immediately.
Yeah, even without the fatherly moment,
I know. Wasn't even Lenny Kravitz yet.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, before we even get there, this is also where we get the thing we were talking about with Seneca, where he like comes down and he's like harassing Katniss essentially, where she's like terrified of him by the end of it.
The training is fascinating because it starts out like, oh, don't do anything, but then it's like, oh, now Effie, for some reason it's Effie, tells them, okay, now it's time to do something, but they're all still together. And then we get a clip of the actual like rating of the tributes kind of doing their individual events for the game makers and getting their rating, which is fascinating that we get to see that. And then Seneca just like targets Seneca targets Katniss with Peeta just sitting against the wall hanging out.
Yeah. It's like interesting because he's like, oh, the one thing I can't control is who goes into the arena, which I think is so interesting, right? Because I don't know if you know this, the online discourse about reaping and how a lot of people think that the reapings are rigged. There's like very strong camps on one side or the other, whether you think that the reapings are rigged or whether you think the reapings are actually the one thing that they don't care who gets picked, because that's kind of the point of the system, is like it could be anybody. But like Katniss in the books anyways is like, well, some of it has to be kind of rigged because Tribute's kids, like people who won Victor's kids, are too often selected for it to be totally randomized, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah, 100%.
It happens too often. But like there's a very strong camp that people believe that Prim was rigged and not a randomized pick from the Capitol.
Interesting.
On the interwebs.
Fascinating. I never would have considered that. She doesn't seem like she's like a target for the Capitol. She just seems like a kid.
Yeah. There are two camps of those people. One who think that maybe they picked Prim to punish Katniss for her hunting outside of the barriers, which seems a little bit roundabout for the Capitol, in my opinion.
They could just turn on the fence.
Yeah. And then the other half that are kind of like, well, no, they just wanted a 12-year-old from District 12 this year. And it's like District 12 suffers the most out of any district. They haven't had a victor win in 25 years. And before that, they had only one other victor. Like, their kids lose no matter what. You're not really going to get them more down in the dumps by picking Prim,
They're also,
and she's like a scene girl.
The worst. Yeah. They're given the worst outfits. They're not they're not interesting to. This is the first time that since in 25 years that anything from District 12 is interesting.
Yeah. And so I just think it's interesting that he's like, oh, the only thing I can't control is who goes into the games. Like, imagine they had put that into the movie. the fandom would have exploded, I think, over this theory stuff. So
That's so funny.
Everybody is welcome to their own opinions about it. I think that Suzanne hasn't spoken on it or clarified it for a reason, which is that you don't know what the Capitol is really up to or what kind of stories they're trying to tell, or like, again, it all ties into propaganda, right? Maybe some things are rigged and some things aren't. Like, we don't really know, right? It's ambiguous. It could be anybody, though. That's like the whole point of only having one name in when you're 12 and still getting picked.
Also, for like Catching Fire, they're like, yeah, we're gonna rig it, but we're gonna be so obvious about it that like
that it fails, essentially. That's what ends up happening. Also, I forgot about this, but at the very beginning during the reaping, we didn't talk about this last episode, but one of the things that Gale says, right, because they're all like saying things as the reaping is happening, Gale is like, but her name was only in there once. It's like, Gale, you don't have to say it out loud. We've already established this.
There's so much talking in scripts. I'm thrown off.
Yeah. But again, it's like you'll have a lot of dialogue because you'll realize that you can cut that when the frame of the actual shot is going to capture a lot of what you need it to. Which is why I hate. It's not even the Marvelification, as we would say it, of films. It's the Netflix-ification of films. Because the way that Netflix operates, and they've said this in writers have said this in interviews, Netflix sometimes denies it and sometimes is like, no, that's absolutely what we do. But they basically make it so that it's supposed to be like sitcom TV, which means that, you know, like how after a break, they will re-show the last scene basically every time. Because they're like, well, what if you missed it? Or what if you just came back? Or what if you just changed the channel? Like, we have to reintroduce you every time you come back from a commercial break. Or if you're like washing dishes, we want you to know what's going on the screen. Basically, nowadays, a lot of scripts are directed to do that constantly, which is why you get a lot of movies spoon feeding you things instead of just allowing frames to speak for themselves.
Yeah. There's so much to say on that.
Yeah.
But not to worry. Katniss fires off 3 shots, hitting the dummy in the heart, then the head, and then severing the rope.
Yeah. Very, very different. But even in the book, they like make her like very superhero-esque, like Suzanne does. Like she like rolls around and does like all these crazy shots. Whereas in the final film, it's like she misses a little to the left and then she hits the bullseye dead on. And that's it. That's all you really need to see the difference of like she was nervous and now she can hit the bullseye. That's it.
Yeah, it's a choice.
Yeah.
As the game maker assessments wrap up, I thought it was so interesting that Haymitch starts berating her for shooting the apple out of the pig's mouth and says like, but they might do something to your mother or to Prim. Like,
because it's so opposite of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the one moment that Katniss is like, wow, Haymitch actually made me feel better. Weird. And now he's like, no, I'm going to be the one that makes you feel really terrible about this.
But it's okay because there's a per train. On the train is coming confirmation that Prim's okay. About a month ago, apparently, but
yeah. Yeah, he wouldn't know. Also, like, I'm sorry. Are the peacekeepers in District 12 not noticing that Gale is not showing up for work? Like, what's going to happen when he gets back? This is not an overnight trip. Again, the bullet train that goes 250 miles per hour, we know this, they say this in the book, it takes them 2 days to still get to the capital. Because they make one stop for gas, and so, like, it takes a little while.
Yeah, let's stop worrying about Prim. Let's start worrying about Gale's whole family.
Truly, they're starving in this amount of time that he's gone. He's not being paid, and they're gonna like whip him when he gets back. Probably. Like, what are we doing? We're not there yet. We're almost there. We're almost there.
We're getting there. We're so close. We're so
close. But basically, okay, so after the thing where she's now worrying about print, Haymitch says it because he needs the crowd, the audience to know it. And then we go to the interview, right? So we're really rearranging so many things that end up in the order that they do in the film. But Effie is helping Cinna prep Katniss for the interview instead of Haymitch helping out. He doesn't help at all. He just leaves.
Yeah, Haymitch hasn't done anything helpful, I think.
Yeah, he's so unlikable in this because he's not in it. Like, the thing about Book Haymitch is he's unlikable because he's a drunk and he's so drunk. But Katniss is also like, I get it a little bit. She's like, I too would be Haymitch if I was like in his situation, which originally, and what most people think Catching Fire is going to be, is Katniss becoming the next Haymitch, right? Like having to go through that process. And then they're like, no, we're going to throw her back into the games. Don't you worry.
It's gonna be worse.
Yeah. But so Effie helps Cinna with her, and they get them up there, and the interviews are much closer to the book versions of the interviews than the final film is. Like, Katniss has her whole conversation. The game makers are there. They're joking back and forth about her getting an 11, because Caesar asks her about it. Yada yada. Right.
Yeah, and
just interesting.
My only thing, other than because it does follow the books, there's not a lot to talk about, is the when Flickerman Bravuara, whoever that is, one tribute lifts Flickerman up over his head as proof that he's strong, and that's the District 4. Yep. That had to have happened several times. I can imagine Flickerman just being absolutely thrown around by these tributes, fully because they're just nervous and never been on camera, and he's like, oh, like, how strong are you? And they're like, let me show you.
That we need a compilation of that.
Yeah.
The last 40 years he's been hosting the interviews, how many times has a tribute picked him up?
It's so funny. Fascinating.
Yeah. But most of those are the same. We get some more cuts. Peeta interview is pretty similar to the book as well. They have the like extra joking around. They talk a lot more about, oh, do you think she has a boyfriend back, like whoever you have a crush on? And then he's like, no, she came here with me, yada yada.
Cowabunga, dude.
Cowabunga, indeed. That's rough, buddy. That's rough.
Yeah.
And then we cut to Katniss has, this is where we ended on the regular podcast, by the way. We're going to go a little further because we're going to get this wonderful Gale moment of coming to the Capitol. We haven't even gotten to this moment.
To do the Gale moment.
But Katniss shoves Peeta, right? And makes him bleed. And Haymitch is like, what are you doing? Like, Katniss, please. It's like the one time I feel like he's really, truly Haymitch. He's like, I wish I had it. Played great. Wish I'd come up with that. That's awesome. That was like the best thing he's done the entire time I've known him. But even Effie is like, good. You owe him a thank you, Katniss. You just crossed over out there. What the hell does that mean? It means he just gave everybody outside District 12 a reason to give a damn about you. And I'm like, so interesting that Haymitch and Effie are tag teaming her about this because, like, Effie is already like, she's the most compelling tribute because she volunteered for her sister. Yeah, and that is the most compelling thing about her, you know?
Yeah.
It's just that this makes more interest for when she goes into the games, but it's not like, oh, nobody gave a damn about you beforehand. At least, especially not in Effie's mind.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's really interesting because in the books, you kind of get the feeling that Katniss maybe isn't favorite to win, but she's definitely like the Capitol has their eyes on her. But in the script, it's like, it specifically states Katniss's odds to win are like 100 to 1. People are like, oh, no, like, she's
I thought
maybe amusing, but like, whatever. And I'm like, okay.
It's so interesting because her odds are 100 to 1 here in the script, but they're 23 to 1 on the board in the movie. So I think that's interesting. Yeah.
That is
how much they change that. Yeah. Because her 11 clearly is going to favor her. I don't know why her odds would be 100 to 1. But now we're finally here.
Finally
Page
here.
56 for everybody who would like to know and maybe only read the scene.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. You start wherever you want.
Katniss, alone. It's the night before the games, and she's a wreck. No chance of sleeping. Staring at that Mockingjay pin. Then, a knock at her door. Must be Peeta, great. She crosses to it, annoyed, opens it. That fast, her jaw drops because Gale is standing here, cleaned up, dressed like an Avox.
Hi, Katniss. So good. So good.
Gale pulls, hello, Zuko here.
Hello, Zuko here. It's true. Oh my god, so many Avatar references. I love it.
Speak.
I mean, it's so funny too because she's staring at the Mockingjay pin because you're supposed to think she's thinking about home, which is good. We forgot to mention that her mom gave the pin to Prim. We talked about this in our episode where we covered the pin, so we don't need to talk about it again anyways.
Wild that she had a gold pin the whole time they were starving, but whatever.
Yeah, that was my thing, is I was like, that's the one thing about her mom giving it to her is doesn't really make a lot of sense. But anyways, it's they cliffhanger us there when Gale shows up. Hard cut.
Hard cut. Haymitch and Effie have a philosophical conversation about quoting the Roman emperor.
What is their ship name? Hayfie, I think is their ship name. I don't
Hay
know.
Fever,
people really
maybe?
ship them.
I could see it being
that'd
Hay
be a good
Fever.
one. I would prefer that.
Yeah.
It's but yeah, that's a big one out there. So people would have gone crazy for these scenes, I think, too.
Oh my god.
Could you imagine?
Here, I think we should read this.
Okay.
If you want to be Effie or Haymitch, whichever.
Whoever you don't want to be, you pick.
Oh, I'll do Haymitch. She's fun.
Okay. You really ought to get some sleep tonight, Haymitch. Are you sober?
Basically, mostly, had to honor my pledge to our tributes. Besides, tonight is not about booze, it's about bread and circuses.
Huh?
Somebody asked a Roman emperor once, how do you get a public to give up all its rights without a protest? And he said, easy. Just give them bread and circuses.
Haymitch, govern yourself. People could be listening.
What is this conversation?
It's interesting because this is the theme, but this is the theme of the final film, right? This is not the theme that they're establishing in the script, really, because we've been focusing so heavily on the district perspective and the cruelty of the capital. We have not focused on the circus enough at all to make this make any sense whatsoever.
We've barely touched the circus. How does Haymitch know about Rome? First of all, how does Haymitch know how to quote a Roman emperor?
Yeah. The only thing I can think is that him and Plutarch stayed in contact after his games, which does not track.
Oh yeah. No,
they
I
sort
think they
of
hate each other.
Not really. Yeah, they sort of do for the rebellion, but that's about it.
That is it. They're not having long philosophical conversations about the meaning of the capital and how the games relate to philosophy.
But I feel like this conversation would have fit perfectly with the Snow Seneca Rose Garden scenes that we get. Like, this is basically the conversation that Snow and Seneca just had in the first Rose Garden scene, where he's like,
100%.
Why do you think we do this? Because we're just executing people? No. Like that is what we're doing, but also like we're doing it for a purpose, right? And it is to keep the districts in line, and to keep the capital happy, essentially. So I think that this quote would have fit there really well with Snow saying it, but not between Haymitch and Effie, you know? And it's out of the blue. Like, they have not been getting along at all.
No. They kind of hate each other, which is fair. But yeah, this would have been great out of Snow. I think this would have been... I could see this between Effie and Haymitch in the end of Mockingjay in the movies.
Or even I could see it in Catching Fire, when she's finally starting to, like, really break down and be like, I can't believe that they're going to take you guys again, right? Then I could see Haymitch saying something like this to her.
I could see that. But night before the first Hunger Games, we just met these people. No.
And all we know is that Haymitch has been drunk and not mentoring very well.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything helpful. Also, the previous part of the capital doesn't support this because Seneca is delighting in the violence. He's not putting on a circus. He's putting on a violence.
Yeah. That's why, like, in that interview with Claudius Templesmith, it's so weird that he's like, wink, wink, we don't interfere. You know, like, because what he's implying is like, oh yeah, we do it to make everything more brutal and more entertaining in the violence, not in the like storytelling that goes along with the violence. Because the Seneca in the films is like, oh yeah, we would do that, except that we're just doing it for good television, not because we want to see more violence, you know? It's like violence is part of that equation, but it's not the end goal for Seneca in the film.
No.
No.
But here.
Yeah.
And then we hard cut after this strange diatribe to back to Katniss pulling Gale into a room and being like, how did you get here, dude?
Yeah. And here's what Gale says. Doing? A coal train. Then I stole an ID to get around the city. Gale. I'm sorry. First of all, you're a coal miner, okay? Secondly, you have been riding in the bed of a coal train with the coal for the last 80 years, it seems. Who knows how long you've been there, right? And then you just snuck into the city, the pristine, and I'll say this, they describe the architecture very similar to what we end up getting in the final film, which is pristine, very white, gray marble everywhere. And you are dragging coal dust around.
Pigpen is here, and he's sneaking into the training center to the top floor.
To the top floor just because he stole an ID. We're going to get there in a minute.
He's wearing an Avox uniform.
Yeah, and very clean, apparently, somehow. So he just shows up. That's not even the part we should be questioning, is how clean he is and how he managed to get an ID. But it's like, again, we've already talked about this. How did you... There's no way. I'm sorry, there's no way the Capitol does not scan these trains for stowaways.
No.
No. Anyways, Gale is like, I thought I could help you. And Katniss is like, you can't help me by taking care of Prim and my mother. I can't do this if I'm worrying about them. And he's like, well, it's Prim that asked me to come. Again, we've talked about this. She's 12, sir. I think you could have just said it's impossible and not gone.
But apparently in this world it's possible.
Yeah. Do you want to read the description of what he brings out of his coat pocket?
Absolutely, because we need to know why is Gale here? And it's not for any reason you could have possibly thought of. He extracts something from inside the jumpsuit he's been wearing. 4 pieces of artist paper. He lays them out. 4 drawings of Katniss stare up at us now. Sketches lovingly rendered. Beautiful. He stole 4 pieces of art from Peeta's room where he was sketching Katniss and says, you can trust Peeta.
Yeah, the fact that he's like, I didn't draw them, Katniss. Peeta did. We saw his mom throwing them into a dumpster after the reaping, which also doesn't track with the fact that she passed out when his name got called at the reaping. So that alone is interesting. And Katniss is silent. It's a lot to take in. Gale, you don't like trusting people. I know that. But this time, you should. He'll protect you. Sir, you don't know anything about Peeta. Have you ever spoken? What do you mean? So this is where the love triangle for me takes a really weird turn in the script.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of this. I think I'm with Gale's final dialogue here, which is just guys do dumb things sometimes.
Yeah. Literally, I'm showing you my paper. It says, what? Crazy ad. And that's it. That's all I wrote on the whole page.
I don't... Who wrote this?
I know. Well, you know what? This is the ultimate Twilight-ification of the Hunger Games. Because this is the moment when Edward is like, you should go be with Jacob. Because he's better for you than I am. Right.
Oh, that's so true.
That's basically what's happening here.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a lot to say about how the Hunger Games handles this triangle. I'm so glad it did not go this direction.
Yeah. Again, it's kind of like there's a purpose to the triangle. Does it sometimes in the movie go a bit far for dramatic purposes? Yeah, but it'll be interesting when we get there to like break it down bit by bit and just see how well it does actually play and how much of it we're just annoyed by Liam Hemsworth acting as a teenager.
Look, you do your best. Yeah, it's also like, what is Gale actually gonna do? The man knows how to hunt in the woods and mine coal. So now he's in a city, a never-ending city, and he's gonna help Katniss in the. Is he gonna go into the arena?
Yeah. Well, also the fact that he's literally like, no, I'm just here to deliver the pictures and let you know you should trust Peeta. You don't know what strategy they've been devising. And here's the other thing: they haven't really been devising a strategy the way that they do in the books. And in the movies, it's all natural coming from Peeta and Katniss themselves kind of forming that relationship. But the reason that Gale didn't get his goodbye at the beginning when she first left District 12 is because they're going to do their goodbye scene now, where he's like, well, I'm not going to say it because you're going to come back. You're going to win. And this is the moment where they're like, he's like, well, you know how to kill. And she's like, well, not people. And he's like, it can't be that different, right? Like, just do it. They're both sad as hell is a line here on page 58. And then Katniss says, you should go, there's a curfew. And he says, I'm serious, I'm not saying goodbye. And then Katniss does...
curfew?
Yeah.
Girl.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. For the
There's
tributes.
So many other things happening.
Yeah. Also, there's not a curfew because... Well, there shouldn't be, because the Capitol citizens are out partying all night in celebration of the fact that the Hunger Games are happening. But then Katniss does the next crazy thing. She puts those 3 fingers to her lips, offering him that same wordless gesture.
Which means she thinks he's going to go and die. That is not something you like throw up as like a, hey, I'm going to make it out. That's like a, well,
it's literally meant to be at funerals. Yeah. And then he opens the door to leave, and Lavinia, who is the Avox girl we've been talking about, is out there waiting in the hall. This is the real reason she has been introduced, and we've seen her a few times, because Gale nods to her, which tells Katniss that Lavinia is the one who got him into the building. Explain yourselves, children. Have you still been in contact this whole time? Like, did Gale know that this was how he was going to have an in at the Capitol? There's a lot
so fascinated. There's so much happening. But I guess that's how he got the Avox clothes. I don't know how they really like worked this out in the 3 seconds that she probably had. I assume Avoxes are never free because they're literally rebels, or the Capitol considers them that.
Traitors of some kind.
Yeah, so their leash would be even shorter than Gale's.
Yeah, they're literal prisoners, not just prisoners of their districts. Hence Katniss's utter awe. The last bit of that interaction, basically.
And us as well. Us as well. Also, is Gale heading right back to the district now?
Yeah, he literally is turning around and he's going to get back on the train and he's going to go back, I think.
He delivered the papers. He's going back. This is fascinating.
Yeah. And normally that's where we'd end it, but I just have to then add that the next little scene is the betting board. Because we haven't seen it at all until now. The night of going into the games. Haymitch is there. For some reason I thought he wasn't there, but he's standing in the back of the sports book eyeing all those numbers until his eyes land on the bottom of the betting board where the long shots are listed. They're listed at 100 to 1 is Katniss Everdeen. Again, 23 to 1 in the film. So I just think it's interesting that like they really are like, she's not gonna make it in the Capitol. Because you would think that wouldn't be the case, right? If it was just normal Capitol citizens running the betting. But this implies that it's Seneca. Setting the odds.
Yes.
Because he hates her for some reason.
Well, some people made a lot of money off the ending of this games.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wonder if they're like, well, she wasn't the solo winner, so you don't get any of her money. That'd be so funny.
Oh, that's true. That'd be so funny.
Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting because Like, again, it's like, why is Seneca so triggered by her? We know now why Snow is so triggered by her, because she's a District 12 Covey girl. But, like, it's interesting, to say the least, of, like, what are we doing? She's a nobody. Like, you're making her a somebody, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And this, I'll spoil Sunrise on the Reaping just a little bit here. This is why they give Haymitch a 1 for his evaluations, because it's like, and why he's not mad about it, because he's like, there are 2 ways to get noticed: either be the best or be the fucking worst, because everybody's gonna wonder, what did you do to get a 1? Like, it must have had to be something so spectacular, maybe not in a good way, but like something so incredibly crazy that it makes you interesting enough that I want to see what you're gonna do next. And that's basically what
100%.
he's doing to Katniss. So,
Which, yeah,
interesting.
it's so what a script. What a time. I mean, I'd love to see like an animated, like very loosely animated version of Gale getting on the coal train and evading everything and then arriving there, handing her 4 papers and leaving.
Yeah. I want to see the scene when he somehow gets clean of all the coal dust, of which Katniss, in the books anyways, is very much like, it's the kind of thing you can never wash out from under your fingernails, you know?
Oh.
So yeah, super interesting stuff. I honestly don't even remember rereading this part, I don't even remember what happens in the games for the
I can't
script.
wait.
I can't wait. And like, the games are going to take us so long to get through.
Oh my god.
I'm excited. This has been fun. But I am excited to also get to do this again with the script and just end up seeing how different it ends up being,
Yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, I'm curious to see if there's a lot of deviations or not, because a lot of the script does just follow the book, and they could just do that in the games. Or they could do something I'd never think of.
Like, put Gale in the arena. It's so funny to me too, because that's what happens in Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. She literally forces Snow to go into the arena.
That's true.
What's her name? The teacher. She's like, go get your friend who snuck into the arena. And he's like, what? I'm not going to do that. And then she's like,
going in
you
where
will.
everyone's dying.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just super interesting. It's like, again, I can understand why they made all these changes, but I also understand why they didn't go with any of these changes at the end of the day, right? Because they were like, no, it's not conveying what we want it to convey at the end of the day, which is like the games as a political tool, right? In this like larger war that they are ultimately fighting.
Yeah, it's not violence for violence sake. It's a means to an end.
Yeah. Like, I always think it's interesting that a lot of people compare Battle Royale, right? It's the Japanese movie, to this, just because it's been a really long time since I've watched it, because I did watch it just to see what the comparisons were about, but I can't remember why they throw the kids in to kill each other. But it's like kind of secret. It's like kind of just to get rid of them, I think. Hold on. Now I have to look it up, because people are going to, if anybody ever listens to this podcast, they'll rip me apart for it. Not that anybody's listening except for people we know, but hold on.
Hey, that's the way we like it. But also, hi, welcome.
Yeah, this is based on a novel. Yeah, so like, following recession, the authoritarian Japanese government passes an act to curb juvenile delinquency by selecting a junior high school class at random to participate in a yearly game called Battle Royale. And it's like interesting, because I think it speaks to the sort of regime, like the type of regime, in a totally different way, right? In that it's like, oh, we're just going to randomly select a middle school as an example of like, this is why you should behave. And it's kind of similar, but it's like just meaning to scare kids. It's like, there's not a ton of, at least in the movie, like, what is it representing? right, to society as a whole and to like the parents and things like that. And like how is it affecting other people outside of this group of junior high kids as much. Like the book probably does go into it way more, but you know, I just think it's an interesting comparison usually because I think it's targeting different things essentially.
That makes sense. Like this is on the bread and circuses, and that's on the grim fairy tales sort of like control.
Yes. Yeah, that feels like the difference where you're right, bread and circuses, because that is the point of like if you dress up, what did you say, like a pig in lipstick, like this is what you get is this version, whereas that version isn't trying to pretend it's anything other than what it is, which is violence for the sake of violence to curb, right? Like certain behaviors.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Also reminds me of Unwind. I feel like I brought this up already in the podcast, but the book where 13-year-olds can be unwound and all their body parts donated instead of abortion.
Oh,
did I tell you about this? We read this.
I do remember that.
For the same book club for Hunger Games.
I totally forgot about that.
And then like some of the kids are like suicide bombers, where they go and they like put a bomb inside of themselves and then they go up and blow up like donation centers and stuff.
Fascinating.
It's a lot, and apparently there's like 5 books in the series now, and I was so interested. I saw like the whole really pretty box at Barnes & Noble one day, and I was like, oh my god, should I get it just so I can read the whole thing now? I'm so curious how it ended, because I don't remember reading anything past the first book, which I still own.
That's crazy.
Right. Yeah, because it's like, it's not just about kids. It's not just about following the kids who were sacrificed, essentially, but it's like following society as a whole of like how do they deal with the consequences of that, right?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Wild.
I know. Sorry, this took a totally random turn. I'll cut it if I need to. But yeah. So really just it's so fun to read scripts. I'm telling you, you and I should just for funsies instead of book club, we should start reading scripts. Like
I'm down.
The Everything Everywhere script is really interesting. The Sinner script was really interesting. Those are like my 2 favorite ones in recent memory. But there's so many out there that are just like a good time to read. You know what I've always wanted to read script-wise that I haven't is Arrival. I've always wanted to read that one. I don't know if it's out there, but I've always wanted to read that.
Yeah, that'd be a fun one.
Yeah.
A lot of Amy Adams staring at a wall.
Yeah.
So curious to see how they work that out.
Especially some of these movies that are not so dialogue heavy and are so visually heavy. I'm so curious sometimes about how they write that out. I mean, that's what inspired me to look at the script in the first place, was how did they map out some of these things, right? And then I found this instead.
And you're like, oh, they didn't.
Yeah. But yeah. So any other thoughts on your first official script as we go through it?
I mean, it's very exciting. There's so much in the script. I think just ending on the Gale thing is crazy. A lot more of it fits the book than I thought. But reading it this way versus seeing it, it kind of emphasizes how much of the visual side of movies carries things, because it feels so fake with just some of the words there, like, oh, you're running, oh, a knife hits you, whereas like in the movie you're like, oh, like this is actually really bad because the music's going and the visuals are going, whereas on this you're kind of like, nah, whatever.
Yeah. And that visual difference that it's like maybe you're not consciously thinking about it, but unconsciously your brain is like, these 2 things are different, or these 2 things are the same, or whatever. You can draw the correlations without somebody having to write it down on the page for you, right?
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's very fun.
Well, yay, I'm glad. Okay, well then we are finally going to jump back into the book and the movie next time. So we'll be jumping back in at part 2 of the book, which is the aftermath of the interview, which is what we just read. So it's going to be real different, other than the fact that Katniss will shove Peeta. That is the same.
Yes, yeah. I'm sorry. We are returning to the universe where Gale does not turn into James Bond, and that is a shame, truly.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so interested to get to the rest of the script again because, like, I've read the whole thing twice, but like, kind of skimming it, you know, to prep for this, and then being like, it's too different. There's no way we're gonna be able to talk about it. But yeah, again, getting more of those details more clarified is gonna be really fun.
Yeah. Let's end with a little bit of a bit.
Okay.
Does Gale show up again anytime through the rest of this movie? Because there's no other time for him to make sense.
I feel like he has to, but I don't know if it's going to be something that's similar to like what they do in the film, which is, we just get cuts of him watching the games. Like,
yeah.
Because now I don't remember at all. It's been several months since I've read it. So,
okay. I'm going to make a bet that he shows up in a way that we never would have thought of or expected.
Okay.
And it can't be a flashback. It has to be that he has to physically show up somewhere.
Oh, he has to physically show up. Because I'll bet that he is, maybe we're going to get scenes with him with Prim again. Like watching the games together. That would be.
It was like.
And I like don't remember. Yeah, I have no idea because I'm like, well, now am I just like confusing things with the movie or like
it's all mishmash in my head.
It's all mishmash in my head. I like don't know anymore. But yeah, I'll be so interested if yours is. I feel like I would remember, but I don't. Again, my memory is shot. I have no idea.
Who's to say? But thank you very much for joining.
Yes.
Place your bets as well.
Yeah, place your bets. Read the script. Laugh at us if we're super wrong. Cheer if we're super right. And we'll be jumping back into normal scheduling next week. So we'll see you then.
See you then.
Hi, Tiger.
Meow. Meow. There we go.
Perfect. Good boy.